I'm tired of suffering. I always say I got a little lucky because there was no I'm tired of this or no getting to the point to where I commit suicide. A wonderful question to ask yourself when you are interested in going beyond the unconscious mind and stepping into the realm of spirituality or compassionate awareness or conscious awareness, whatever you like to call it, is by asking yourself genuinely, instead of being reactive, how can I be? When you ask yourself these sort of questions, you invite a different dimension of awareness into your life, into your experiences, into your situations. How can I be instead of being reactive to my mind? What can I do instead of being reactive to my situations? Very important questions to ask yourself on the path to awakening, if you will. Asking yourself, how can I be and what can I do implies that there's some change to be had there. And you can step into that realm of change and reconstruction by simply asking yourself questions like that and by not completely deriving your sense of self by the answer. I can be spiritual. Oh, that's deriving your sense of self out of it. How can I be? What can I do? I can do spiritual things. That's deriving a sense of self out of it. So let's remove that and just notice that. Let's remove that and notice that you can have a sense of how can I be and what can I do without the egoic sense of self behind it. Because people can notice that. You'll begin to notice it when you say, how can I be and what can I do? And you decide to do something and it doesn't go that way and you become upset. You'll realize that, oh, there must have been some egoic sense of self behind what can I do? Because otherwise I wouldn't be upset that I thought I'd go out and take a drive and my car was gone. It'll just go to, again, how can I handle the situation? What can I do about it? If there's no ego, it'll go to that. It won't go back to frustration, anger, depression, everything that comes with that negative state of mind. It'll be easy because being or spirituality or conscious awareness or compassion, it's all easy. It's very simple. You just have to, I would say, want to. There has to be a sense of wanting to. And for most people, it has to be, I'm tired of suffering, ultimately. And whether it's tired of suffering situations or tired of suffering your thoughts, there has to be something like that there. For me, I always say I got a little lucky because there was no I'm tired of this or no getting to the point to where I commit suicide. I started listening to talks about different dimensions of life, if you will, or consciousness. But ultimately, I realized through all what they talked about is that it's only up to you. So even me talking to you about it, I cannot be there in you. And when a situation comes up, say, for you, how can I be? What can I do? No, you have to do that. And if you don't commit and be courageous enough to do that for yourself, then you go back to for most people, the normal way of being, where frustration and anger and anxiety and all that stuff comes in. So even with listening to talks like this and recognizing it for yourself, If it's not a genuine wanting to, let's call it, then you will fall back into that unconscious state, which is the normal state for most people, which is quite insane. But you will come across some people I have that have no idea, no recollection of spirituality, no listen to any talks, never met me, never met Eckhart, no one, but there's a sense of spaciousness there. And it's been times where I want to ask, are you recognizing your inner aliveness? Because most times it may be no, it's just there genuinely. And that's great because presence or compassionate awareness is slowly coming into human beings one by one. It's very slow, but it is transmitting itself into us. And little questions like this can accelerate it, can accelerate the awakening process by you contemplating different states of consciousness. And if you continuously do that, you'll have a wise way of handling situations, a compassionate way of handling your mind. Uh, be very easy, very compassionate, very loving towards yourself and everything around. Now, if you say, yes, I like that, that's very wonderful, but in certain situations, you don't step out of the mind or step out of the thinking and ask these questions to yourself, you will be pulled along by that unconscious stream of thinking again. And there will be some times where it's a little more difficult, like I believe I was driving, someone hit the car, we got out, they were very anxious and upset, pulled along by the negative stream of thinking. But it seems that I was able to de escalate the situation by being present, by being at ease, by being compassionate to myself and the other person. Because it was their fault, but they just immediately begin to blame me. And so just imagine that you're something happened like that, and person, you know, it's their fault, but they continuously start to blame you. What do you do there? Ask the question: how can I be in this situation? What can I do in this situation? The person standing right there, so you don't have much time, but the wisdom, it comes through you unexpectedly. You don't know. That's the thing about being open about it. You don't know how it's gonna come, but if you think you need to know how it's gonna come, it won't come. And then you'll go right back into that negative way of thinking. You'll fall right into the trap of the unconscious mind. And you'll immediately begin to be battling with the person. There'll be no spaces, there'll be nothing but a meeting of the negative minds ultimately. And it won't be that peaceful and compassionate. So, those two questions, very important to accelerate the awakening or the compassion, joy, or presence. But there has to be some wanting to. There has to be that you do not want to continuously experience negativity and diminishment and anxiety. If you're tired of that, you've had enough, then it's all there for you to be at ease with every situation ultimately and step out of that normal way of thinking, most people call it, but it's the unconscious way of thinking where you don't know who you are and the abilities that you possess. Thank you for joining me.